Hi guys, I hope everyone's keeping well. I'm back for another video. This is the promised video of my pickups from the Motorcycle Museum record fair from last Sunday. So yeah, so popped along at about, I got there really early actually. Got there at about 9:15 because it was due to kick off at 9. A little bit miffed, to be honest. I was actually charged £5 to get in, which was the early bird. But when I actually saw it advertised, there was no mention of money or how much it was going to be. Obviously, it's I know they charge for the venue like that. And I think the last time I went last year, I went in at normal time and I think it was a couple of quid or something like that. But yeah, so yeah, a bit of a stinger to begin with, £5 because I think the option was that because I was bulking on paying it, was that I could go out and come back in after 9. I thought that's ridiculous. I thought I don't want to do that. I've been hanging around anyway, so yeah, I just took the hit, paid the £5 and went in. Yeah, so I'll show you what I got. So I only picked up 7 records, so not a huge haul, but yeah, quite pleased with what I did pick up. Okay, so I think these aren't in any order. I think this is one of the first ones I did pick up after looking through this guy's collection, and this was sort of the thing that really caught my eye. So this is Francois Hardy, and this is her 1974 Entract. Knew nothing about this album at all, never seen it before. That's the gatefold. And yeah, there's no production credits on this whatsoever. It's a really strange one. So you got obviously the titles on the back, but it just says it's Warner Brothers. I've looked on the actual record label itself, and it's a French pressing. On Warner Brothers, in pretty much mint condition, to be honest with you. Doubt if this has ever been played, and it wasn't expensive, so I was happy to pick it up. Yeah, I pretty much almost always pick up Francois Hardy albums when I see them, because they're 9 times out of 10 they're usually very good. I like her voice. I like the style of her music, even though I think by this time in the 70s she was kind of getting a bit more funky, less of the kind of singer-songwriter stuff that she was doing in the 60s and late 60s. So yeah, looking forward to spinning it. I haven't actually got round to playing it yet, but yeah, looking forward to it. So that is Francois Hardy and Entract. Okay, this one is a Monkeys album that I've never actually owned, and I don't think I've actually heard it, to be honest with you. So this is The Birds, the Bees and the Monkeys. So this one is from, I'm gonna say 1968. Yeah, 1968. So this is an original mono pressing on RCA Victor. It's got a kind of laminate on the front, so the front's in really nice shape. Little bit of sort of marks on the back. Apparently you can use things like putty rubbers to get these kind of marks off. So I may well be doing that. The record is pretty clean from what I can see. There's evidence that it's been played quite a bit, but then it's a 50 odd year old record, so hardly surprising. Um, so yeah, looking forward to spinning that one. So what does this have on? Yeah, so obviously the singles, Tapioca Tundra, Daydream Believer, Valerie. That's a great one. Oh yeah, it does go back. Giving me a bit of grief. So yeah, yeah, that's The Birds, the Bees and the Monkeys by the Monkeys from 1968. Pleased to get that. That was really, really cheap. So happy with that. Okay, this one I didn't really need, but I only had a Fame reissue, so I've kind of been holding out for a nice original. This seemed to tick the box, so yeah, Kate Bush, Lionheart, the original with embossed lettering in really, really nice condition. Very, very clean copy. Just a few hairline marks on it. And yeah, I mean, opinions on this album tend to be quite mixed, don't they? I think Kate herself wasn't entirely happy with it because I think she felt that it was rushed she felt rushed to record it by the record company that wanted a quick follow up from The Kick Inside, and obviously the phenomenal success of Wuthering Heights. I actually think it's a really, really good album. It's not perfect by any means, but the highlights for me are very high indeed. I love the opener, Symphony in Blue. In Search of Peter Pan's got a lovely ethereal feel to it. I love the way it segues into Wow, the single. Yeah, Oh England, My Lionheart, beautiful, beautiful ballad, lovely words to that. And then the kind of kooky songs on side two, like Kashka from Baghdad and Coffee Homeground, I think are quite amusing. And it ends up with Hammer Horror, which is very atmospheric. So I think it's a really decent listen, and yeah, very good. I'd say probably upper mid-table Kate Bush album. I think, yeah. So happy with that. Okay, this one is one I've bulked on so many times, but there's only a few records now I don't have of his. And this is quite a minty copy, so I pulled the trigger on it. So this is my mate Roy Harper, and this is Looney on the Bus. So this is 1988 issue, original issue on Awareness Records. So yeah, essentially this is an album comprising mainly of tracks that were going to appear. I think they were recorded between 1975 and 77, or possibly 78. They were going to appear on an album called Commercial Breaks, which actually did eventually end up getting an issue in 94, I think, or 95. But yeah, essentially it wasn't issued because I think Roy had a dispute with EMI, the record company, which didn't come in as any great surprise because I think he was constantly at loggerheads with bureaucrats and executives. I think he just hated them, couldn't get on with them. I think they were just both at opposite ends of the political spectrum, probably as well. And but yeah, I mean, it's got some great songs on it, and it's actually a really, really decent listen. So and some great musicians playing on it. So you got Andy Roberts and Henry McCulloch, obviously, who was with Wings. Yeah, well worth picking up if you've not got a copy. Look out for him, meet him, speak to him, the loony on the bus. So yeah, you got a little bit of a story there from Roy. Usually puts interesting anecdotes on his records, and then the lyrics on there. So yeah, on that Silver Awareness label. Yeah, so I think I just need Death or Glory now and a copy of The Green Man on vinyl, which I have on CD. This is 2000 album. And then, yeah, I'm pretty much done then with Roy. I think I have everything, certainly all his studio albums anyway, so. Okay, this was a surprising pickup. This is Leslie Duncan, an Earth Mother. So yeah, I'd actually heard this before, I think at Ben's years ago, and it was, as is sometimes the way, he put it on and I just didn't get it at all. Maybe again, put it on a day you're not in the mood, doesn't hit the spot. So I kind of almost disregarded it. But I know what a reputation she's got. She's kind of considered to be one of the first kind of female singer-songwriters, yeah, and I always thought she was actually more kind of folky than she was, but she's it's quite kind of early Elton John, sort of that sort of tumbleweed connection kind of era, some lovely songs on it. Times I really like, 40th Floor, Queen to Your King, By and By, the closer, has this kind of lovely vocal, kind of oldie worldy kind of vocal arrangement on it, which is really nice. And yeah, some lovely string arrangements on it as well. And yeah, I think who else? I was saying, yeah, there's some stellar players on this. So you got Chris Spedding on guitar, obviously does a big session guitarist, did a lot in the 70s. Then you've also got Andy Bown, bass and some acoustic guitar, who of course went on to join Status Quo later. So yeah, really surprised myself how much I enjoyed this, and this was really cheap. So I think I paid £4 for this. So yeah, happy to pick that up. That's Leslie Duncan and Earth Mother. I think it was her second album, I think. She died, she sadly passed away now, but I think she did 4 or 5 albums in the 70s, so may check out some of her other catalogue. Okay, so this one is by a group that I don't always see their records. They're not uncommon, but sometimes they're not always in the best shape. And but yeah, this was at a good price, and I was happy to pick this one up. So I think this is Squeeze's third album, Argy Bargy, from 1980, is it 81? 1980, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I actually messaged James Griffiths about this because I was surprised that there was no lyric sheet with it. I seem to recall seeing a copy before that had a lyric sheet. Apparently, he says there was one, I think, with the, and if I've got this right, if I haven't, James, you can correct me, but I think he said that in the American issue of it, there was a lyric sheet. So, yeah, yeah, I'd never heard this album before. I knew the singles, obviously the first two, Pulling Myself from the Shell, Another Nail in My Heart. I think there's a great 1-2 punch opening, really good opening way to start the album. Separate Beds I liked, Misadventure. And then actually the last two songs I particularly liked, Wrong Side of the Moon, which has, I think, sorry about this, my alarm just going off. And yeah, had, I don't know whether, I think is that Jules Holland composition? No, he's obviously singing on it. He's playing this kind of honky-tonk piano. It's just catchy as hell, really good. And yeah, obviously doing the vocals. And then there at the top, I thought was a really strong closer as well. But yeah, I need to play it another few times for it to really get on my skin. The only other Squeeze album I had was East Side Story, which I really liked. And then I was familiar with the first album because my brother used to own it. So, but the rest of Squeeze's catalogue is something I've yet to really kind of delve into other than the singles. So, but yeah, a really quite enjoyable listen. So that's Squeeze's third album, Argy Bargy. Okay, and then to finish, just really pleased to pick this up. I picked up the other volume of this compilation in I think it was only one of two records that I actually ended up picking up from a container of records that were brought back from a friend of my wife's, whose father had died, and he was a collector of records, and there was just nothing of interest there for me, apart from I think there was a Joe Cocker record, and also volume 2, ironically, of this. So this is Club Folk. So these are folk compilations that were brought out in the early 70s on Peg Records. And yeah, I've never seen this before. And actually, since finding the second volume, I've never seen another copy of that either. So I don't know whether they're particularly scarce. It wasn't expensive. It was, I think I paid £5 for this. But yeah, some lovely progressive folk artists, again, like the other volumes. So you've got The Sailor, Robin Scott, Red and Green Christmas by Nadia Cattouse, The Barley Straw, Martin Carthy, Dave Swarbrick, Autumn to May, Andy Roberts, Travelling Down, Keith Christmas, Sweet Sunlight, Sheila MacDonald, Mike Hart, and Jello, Andy Roberts. Yeah, just lovely, really nice compilation album of some great British progressive folk artists from the late 60s, early 70s. Well worth picking up if you see either this one or the sister album, Volume 2. They're both really good, and I assume fairly cheap, because this one was, and the one I picked up last year was, I managed to procure really cheaply as well. So yeah, so that's Club Folk Volume 1. Okay, so that's it, guys. Relatively quick. So yeah, that's what I picked up. Looking forward to playing those and getting those all cleaned up and put into the collection. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well, enjoying the the weather, those who aren't getting these dreadful thunderstorms, I know in certain parts, I think particularly the West countries have had some really bad rain, and I think in the south as well, in some parts, it's looked like it's been a bit of localized flooding. So obviously, hope you're not nobody's obviously caught up in that. But yeah, so take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, all the best. Bye bye.